Hello everyone, Nick here with 207 Prospecting. Today we are at my house. I'm on a busy road, so hopefully you can hear me. I tried to block it with my car, so we'll see how that goes anyways. But today we're making a video here on something I've been wanting to shoot. Is all my gear, all my equipment, my dredge, all the stuff that I use to prospect for gold. Some of it's tools I've made, some of it's gear, and yeah, so we'll go through all this stuff here piece by piece, and hope you enjoy. Alright, first up on the equipment list here, we're going to go through the dredge. This is a Keen Ultra Mini 4-inch. Nice little unit. It's relatively small, so it makes it nice to carry to the river. It does come apart in a bunch of pieces, but it does take probably 6-7 trips to get everything down to the river. You know, between the dredge, the sluice, the motor, and all the pieces, which I'll show you here in a minute. But we'll go through the dredge here first. It's got a Honda, I believe it's a 160 on it. It's a Keen pump. I believe that also is a Keen 190 pump. And then it's got the T80 air compressor on it. Now I do need to buy a guard for that pulley. I have yet to stick my finger in there, but I'm gonna know it when I do it. I know that. Like I said, it's a nice little unit. The motor itself, I carry some bolts, which I'll show you. I bolted together, and then the box itself can come out, and you can got at least for that unit, three pieces there. You'd think the pontoons would be the hardest thing to carry to the river, but it's actually that motor. The motor is just bulky and it's heavy to carry. You know, the pontoons themselves you can just throw over your shoulder. They're actually pretty light. Like I said, this is the Ultra Mini. It's got the, you know, the pontoons are all one piece, with the bigger 4 inches is dual pontoons, and it's got a little bit shorter of a box. It does catch a lot of fine gold. I don't know, with the shorter box maybe you're missing some, but it's quite a nice little unit. I put an extra handle on here between that and then this bar that holds the riffles in. I can use it to carry. Take a look inside here. Roll the big rubber damper up, and then you got your screen in there. I'll pull that out, and then I run vortex matting on the top. I think one thing I want to do different is I want to run the matting down to here. Have a little bit longer of a matting. That stuff works magic. When gold gets in that, it does not come out. It's stuck in there. Got the miner's moss in here, and then the green carpet actually goes all the way under the miner's moss to here, and then the you know, expanded metal down to the bottom. Nice little unit. Moves a lot of dirt. You know, as you can see, the nozzle here, I can fit my whole hand in there. You know, it puts a lot of suction out. You got to watch getting your hand in front of there. It won't break nothing, but it jumps you when you get your hand sucked in there. So yeah, again, that's the Keen 4-inch Ultra Mini. We'll go through the sluice box, excuse me, that I have in the Latrap, because I use that Latrap also inside the dredge here for cleanup. So we'll give you a glimpse of that here in a second. All right, so for the first sluice I run, I'll show you here. This is the it's a Bazooka gold trap. I believe this is the sniper version. This is it's 30-inch box. Nice little unit here. I've added some VMAT here, just as an indicator when you're running. This unit here, you can shovel dirt straight on with the grizzly bars here. It you know, obviously screens out your material as you run. Everything collects in this little box here on the end. As you can see, it's probably like, it goes right to there. just a little tiny box in the end. Everything collects inside there. You know, water comes over the top, obviously, but water also goes in the end here, and it collects in this box, kind of, you know, sorry for the noise, I live on a busy road. It collects in this little box here, and then everything, when you're done, all you do is just take this, you put it at an angle, dip it in a bucket of water, and everything comes right out of the hole here, and you're ready to go. Paint out your cons, and that's it. You're ready to put it back in the water. The only thing I have a hard time with sometimes is setting this up in the water, because it likes to float away. But once you get it set up, you can almost build it with rocks. You can see how it's at an angle. You can wedge it in and then just put I use a board, which I'll show you here in a minute, and a rock, and it holds it down. And yeah, nice little compact unit. So the next one here I got is this one is a trap. I absolutely love this thing. It's very versatile for what I do. You can see here I've had to trim it, and I'll show you why here in a minute, why I trimmed it. But as a sluice itself, this thing works great. Again, once you get this set up in the water, because it's so light, it does like to float away, but once you get this set up, this thing catches dirt so good. You can also do the same thing. I screen dirt, but you can shovel it on here. It just goes right off. You know, gold almost always gets caught between these few riffles right to here. And then this stuff is textured here. You can see it's textured, so the fly poop kind of gold gets actually stuck right on that. And then all you do is just rinse it into a bucket and you're ready to go. So the reason why I've trimmed this, you can see here, is that I run it in my dredge for my cons cleanup of my dredge. So I can fit it right in the bar there, pop it right in, and there. You run your dredge on low, right on idle, feed your cons in, and then you can you know, filter down what you have left to pan at the end of the day. This whole system right here is the way to go, especially if you have a big dredge like this. You know, it puts out a lot of cons. If you want to pan all that, it just takes you a while. This thing right here will reduce your cons big time. And then yeah, you just pop it down, pop it right out, and then rinse it into a bucket, and you're good to go. Again, that's the trap. This is the full size from Sluice. Very, very nice product. So yeah, we'll go through some of the parts on the dredge here. Some of the parts I carry, you can see here. We'll go through some of this stuff right there next. It's hot out today and I am sweating. Whew. So some of the parts you need to run the dredge here is the pressure hose for the pump. That's why the hose is super rigid. Next up is the suction hose for the dredge. It's got this little flapper valve, which is like a check valve, so you don't lose your prime when you pump. And then the third one is the actual suction hose. This is your 4-inch. We have a swivel nozzle on this one. So yeah, there's the few hoses we need to run the dredge. Next up is the air tank. This has a little, it's like a reserve. It adds a little bit of pressure, so if you have problems dredging, you have a little bit of air when you're, if the air stops, you have a little bit of reserve. There's that. This is your power jet, where the pressure hose hooks into, right here. Pressure hose, and then the suction hose, and then inside here where they flow through, it causes a venturi, and that's how you get your vacuum on your dredge, is with that unit right there. Now let's see. What else does I have? A little blaster nozzle I use on the side of the pump there. There's a like a bleeder hose that I use, but you can use it with a hose and have a blaster nozzle. A few other things that I use on the dredge, use on the dredge, but use is I have a 2-piece wetsuit I use, so it's kind of like shorts if it's not too bad out. And And then the bottoms, if you want to have no top on, just pants. I also use rubber boots in the water. As you can see, I've drilled some holes in it to let water out. I use I think this is a 3-pound anchor. So if you're in deep water, you can throw the anchor up and then you can hold your dredge in one spot. So that's one thing I use. Inside this bag here, I keep some of my dive equipment. So I got more rope, knee pads. And I'll show you why I use knee pads, not only to protect my knees, but for something else. Face mask. I got tons and tons of gloves. My regulator I keep in here for the pump. Keep a dive mask, and I keep my snorkel in there. And then I have some anti-fog stuff that I use, but I also use toothpaste. Works really good to keep your mask from fogging up. That or baby soap. So yeah, that's a few things I use there. And then the tub itself I use for cleanup on my dredge. When I clean the whole dredge out, I use this tub, put everything in it, and then I concentrate it down through the little trap in the dredge. So yeah, I got some more things here to show you. Hi. All right, so a few more pieces of equipment I use for my personal self. I always use waders. I always have waders with me, keep me dry if I'm not going all the way in the water. And then, like I said, that's why I use knee pads. These neoprene waders, they wear out really easy in the rocks if you're kneeling. So I wear knee pads with these all the time. I also have a dry suit I wear. This is a Hollis BTR 500. I don't always wear it. I do like being dry at the end of the day. When you get out of the water, you take this off, you're dry. You know, the neck thing is kind of tight on you after a while. Same with the wrists. They get tight on your hands after a while, but like I said, it's nice being dry at the end of the day. And I also have, this is a DUI, this is a weight vest, as you can see. It's for the times I'm in a little bit deeper water. I think this is, I have 25 pounds in here, which is not quite enough to hold me down, but it's enough to keep me down better. Like I said, with the dry suit and the wetsuit, sorry, you tend to float a lot, so the dive belt helps keep you down. So yeah, we'll I got some other things here we'll show you. All right, so next up on the list here is this is a Royal, I believe it's a 30-inch Sluice. We bought it this year when we were in Arizona at the GPA Gold Show to use in the desert after we got done dry washing to do cleanups. We bought it with a nice tub that had a recirc system and screens, but those stayed behind. I brought this home with me to use in the river, or you know, for me to recirc, because you can see here it came with a pump. I believe this is a 1200. Yeah, 1200 recirc pump, and then the hose, obviously. But it has this nice little system here where it has this header box that can you can take this flare off right here, and then just bolt the header box on and have a kind of almost a high banker type of deal. Pretty neat little unit. You know, this can come off right here, and you bolt it right in the middle. It lays right across nice and flat, so you have a easy to carry sluice. Just pops right off here. It's got two little tabs. The legs, you can see, can fold up. So yeah, I'm excited to give this unit a try in the river. We'll see how it goes. It's nice to have adjustable legs when you're sluicing, so it's caught some pretty fine gold, so like I said, I can't wait to give that one a try. So next up, we'll go through my basket here. This is what I keep on me personally every time I go out. So yeah, we'll dig through and I'll show you. All right, so before we dive into my basket here, I've got a few more things here to show you. First up is the Gold Monster 1000. Nice unit. I really bought it to use out in Arizona, but I actually have found gold here in Maine with it. One of my previous videos, I found a nice little chunk with it. It's got the docks detecting carbon fiber adjustable shaft because I like it a little shorter personally. So yeah, nice little rig is that. I always keep a bucket with me. Obviously, it's got the nice, this one is a 3-gallon with a nice handle on it. And I also keep with me a 1-gallon bucket that I use for calling it in the day, you know, keeping black sands to check later. It's nice. This little bucket's nice. A few things I got here. I got the gold grabber pan. Got one of these that I use. The nice thing about these pans is that you can pan them right in a 5-gallon bucket. Easier than a, you know, obviously a round bucket doesn't really fit in there that well. The gold grabber pans in there, super nice. So that, you know, I got obviously classifiers and classifiers. And then these ones I talk about a lot is the XP stuff. This is actually 2 classifiers. And that's what I like about them, is that they go together nice. But as you can see, it does not fit in a bucket. This is the same width as a 5-gallon bucket, but it fits even and not in. That's what I don't like. You know, I like that you can put these together, or you can separate them a little bit and run them as like a dual system. So yeah, like I said, I recommend this XP stuff, but these ones I don't really care for. So let's dig in the basket here. I'll show you what I got in there. All right, so here's my it's actually a pack basket, and I use this instead of a backpack. And as we dig inside, I'll show you why I use this instead of a backpack. But it's a woven basket with that red as a liner inside, and then you have your straps on the back here for a backpack to put on your back. Yeah, it's a nice little unit. Keeps everything nice inside, and you know, you can't poke a hole through it, stuff like that. So let's dig inside, and I'll show you why I use one of these instead, and go through all my stuff that I keep inside. All right, so first things first here, we'll dig inside here and I'll show you what I keep in here. So yeah, this opens up nice. Fold the liner down around. And right on top I keep a 1/4-inch classifier. This is a Keen one. Then I also keep my XP gold pin in here. Like I said, I love this thing. As you can, hopefully you can see right in here, that snake skin. That stuff works so good for the flower gold. This is a 14-inch, so I keep that with me. And then I'll pull up this out real quick before I show you the inside of the basket, but I keep the small one as well. And this one's a 10-inch, also with the snake skin. These pans, I highly recommend the pans. The classifiers not so much, but the pans are awesome. Well, let's take a look inside the basket here and I'll show you why I use a basket instead of a backpack. Alright, so with the basket open here, this is why I use a basket with a liner instead. As you can see, it's got pockets. Now, these pockets are actually for ice fishing traps to separate them, and in the middle, you know, you can keep all your other fishing gear in here. But that's why I use a pack basket. Keeps all my small stuff organized in these little pockets. And yeah, so let's I'll pull some stuff out here and I'll show you what I got in here. All right, so I'm gonna all right, so we're gonna dig inside the basket here and I'm gonna show you what I keep inside. First up is a thermocell. This is for mosquitoes and black flies, things like that. These things work really, really great. Next up is a like a military type shovel. Unfolds. I'm pretty known to be forgetful for things, so I try to keep this with me so that way I don't forget a shovel. I have one. Let's see, more gloves. Never have enough gloves because you wear them out big time. Bungee cord, just in case. Bug spray, another one just in case. I keep a rock hammer with me. This is good for working cracks or digging dirt. These things are pretty handy little tools. Duct tape in here. You never know when you're going to need it. You're glad when you have it. And then I keep this, as you can see, toilet paper. And then inside here is this is a little piece I made with clear plastic on the outside. It's used to look in the water. It breaks the tension of the water, and then you can see right in nice and clear. You know, and it just happened that it fits the toilet paper. Again, one of those things you're glad when you have it. Next up is this chair. This little fold-out chair I keep in here. It's nice to have every now and then. Instead of sitting on rocks, I keep the chair. I keep a pry bar with me. Prying up rocks, digging, you know, all that kind of stuff. I keep a block of wood from my sluices. Sits right on the sluice, and you can put a rock right on top to hold it down, keep the weight on. And that's what I use for that. We have it's like a sand-filled hammer with like hard rubber ends. I use this for getting clogs on my 4-inch hose. You can hit the rocks and try to break it free so you don't damage your hose. Or like the pressure fitting on the dredge, sometimes it'd be tightened up and you can just hit it with that and tighten it up. So another handy little tool. I have this suction hand pump that I made. This is a Dan Hurd design I got on YouTube. I made. You can see it all comes apart, folds up. Inside here I use this is a plumbing fitting for clogging up hoses. This squishes together and it can plug a hose. But I use foam on here, and then as the foam wears out I can tighten it up. Let's see, with that nut right there you can tighten that up and it creates a better seal. So you can keep on using it. It just all pressure fits together. And there we go. Nice little rig. It's handy to have, that's for sure. Let's see. Snuffer bottles. Always have a couple extra. That one's actually got gold in it. From the gold show. The GPA gold show from the Pan and Boost. A little bit in there. Whew. I'm sweating, it's hot. Oh, let's see what else we got in here. A Leatherman. Never know when you need that. This little, it's a little sucker tool for the small gold. It's nice to clean your pan out with this. It makes it a lot easier to get everything. Oh, let's see. We got suntan lotion, just in case. A little bottle I keep in here if I find any nuggets or whatever, or bigger pieces I can put in this little tiny bottle. I have another sucker tube. A magnet I keep with me, just in case. I have that magnet, and I have this magnet as well, which works. I actually like the black one better than this little, it's called a Sidewinder. I like the black one better. Keep a flashlight, just in case. Sometimes if you are diving in the water, it is hard to see once in a while, so it's nice to have a flashlight. Oh, I have an extra piece of foam for that hand dredge I keep in there. I keep jet dry. This is a ticket. If there's any pro tip I can give anybody, is keep a little tiny thing of jet dry. I think this has lasted me 2 years, and I always just put a drop in my pan, and that's all you need. And I have this is headache medicine. So I'm a chronic headache migraine person, had them my whole life. So everywhere I go, I have medicine with me. Let's see. We got some tools for the dredge. So there's a clamp for this clamps the power jet to the dredge. And then I got wrenches and gaskets and all that to bolt the motor. Spare bolts for the motor. Sorry about the traffic. These brushes I keep with me, so the vortex matting, you have to brush the air out of it or you won't catch any gold. It'll just float right over. So you brush all the air out of it when you get started. That's why I have these two different ones. I always use this one, it seems to work better. Oh, a screwdriver. Always have that, never, always need it. And then there's a whole bunch of extra nuts and bolts and spark plug and pins, and because when you're way out in the woods and you don't have that stuff, sometimes it's you know, it can ruin your day. This is a Mind Lab scoop. This is I got with that Gold Monster, and then that scoop, it's Happy Scoop. So I got a few different picks and stuff like that to digging out cracks. This little tiny one. This one I use almost all the time. This is a Two Toes I got online. Two Toes made that. That's a nice little unit. And then I made this one out of a putty knife. I just kind of copied the design, and it's nice to have a little bit smaller one than this longer one. That's a nice unit right there. I have more rope on a carabiner because you never know when you need it. And then I got some forceps here for digging out. If you do find nuggets, you can, sometimes you can't really get a hold of it with your finger, so you have something to reach in there with, and it locks together there. And then I keep tweezers with me, just because if you do find a piece, you know, sometimes you can't reach it in the crack, so you can use the tweezers. So yeah, that's about it for the basket. We'll get this cleaned up here and we'll finish up. Alright, we're back. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Like I said, today is a video I've been wanting to make on my equipment and the things I use and the things that I've made for tools. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, like I said, and if you wouldn't mind, please like, subscribe, and comment. Till next time, peace.